Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 9 of Levitated. At the end of the last video I mentioned perhaps wanting to get into applied logistics today, but I found out what our bottleneck here is going to be. So inscriber presses do not generate in world, the meteors don't generate, so we have to get them by trading with the Amadron tablet. Only after trading them can we duplicate them in a inscriber, but that means we have to do a whole bunch of pneumatic craft stuff that we're just not going to do quite yet. So instead, why don't we start today off by going and working towards automating the nether star generator here. Turn that on so that I don't kill myself. The nether star generator turns nether stars into power. We set that up last time. However, it actually burns nether stars in the process. So when nether stars get, each nether star produces 10 million RF, but when it's done, we have to restock it. It also has this interesting thing that it hurts a lot. It gives you a Wither 2 effect if you stand near it while it's running. So I kind of want to move it like over there somewhere maybe, or maybe even up there somewhere far away such that it doesn't murder me, because I'm a big fan of not getting murdered by my generators. So it's going to need its own simulation chamber, loot fabricator, and the infrastructure around that. We also need a way to automatically generate this polymer clay. Although to some degree, just batch feeding it for now would be okay. For the stuff in this polymer clay, most of it can be generated automatically very easily. The clay from the clayconia, the iron is made just from matter, gold is also made from matter, and the lapis is the only challenge here. We have to get the ore somehow, or like generate the ore, trade for it with villagers, make UU matter. I don't know. I haven't quite figured out how we'll make the lapis yet, but it also only takes one piece of lapis to make 16 polymer clay. So anyways, let's start by moving this. Yeah, I'm going to put it that way, tucked away there far enough that it will never hurt me, hopefully. First things first then, I moved the generator somewhere where it's not going to kill us. I still have the off switch, but now I can, say, use my machines without getting worried about dying. Next thing then is to work on probably doing the clay. And as part of generating clay, we may as well make all the other stuff too. Sand, gravel, cobblestone, etc. I believe we can use the mining upgrade from extra utilities combined with transfer nodes now to make a standard cobblestone generator. And then once we have a cobble generator, we can, go through the macerating steps. Probably we'll use the industrial or mechanical squeezer to do it, so we can turn gravel into, or cobble into gravel into, oh, the thing can't turn it into sand. If we want to make sand, we have to use either a pulverizer or a sag mill. Can we sag mill compressed forms in this pack? We can. Okay, then we'll probably just sag mill the compressed forms. So cobble into gravel, gravel into sand, sand into, well, then we can turn sand into clay with the clayconia. I'm basically completely out of redstone, but with my new flight capabilities, I've come up with a new way of mining as well. Instead of actually mining, like digging through most of that filler blocks, I can just fly around here, and then when I find something I want, like say I want that lapis, build myself a little platform, fly onto it. I can fit into one high spaces because I'm, it's like electrifying, and then just grab whatever is exposed in the rock. And that way, if I'm, like, I don't need iron or gold anymore, right? I don't have to waste my time getting that stuff. I can just fly around here looking specifically for redstone, find a vein of it, and then mine it. Makes getting resources a significant bit faster. Generator using extra, let me click that, extra utilities. No, can't click it. Come on, let me see the transfer now. There we go. Mining upgrade, speed upgrades. I don't think the stack upgrade actually does anything. It doesn't increase the rate it generates cobblestone, at least. But that feeds into a compacting drawer, which compresses it into up to double compressed. A sag mill then processes double compressed cobblestone. Just so happens that a sag mill processing simple sag mill processing double compressed cobblestone is the exact same speed as the transfer node with 4 upgrades. Unfortunately, that means that for now we are processing basically 100% of our cobble. Oh well. That turns it into gravel. likewise sag mill the gravel. I have these drawers set with storage downgrade so that after one stack of the output, it'll back stuff. So, you know, it only holds 5,000 sand, but for now, 5,000 sand is a boatload of sand. Likewise, when this back stuffs and this will stuff, then yada yada yada, and we'll have everything in a little bit. The one bit that's a little bit trickier though is clay. So clay has to be made with the Clayconia by placing sand in world. We also probably want to stop this process automatically when the clay drawer reaches a certain fullness. So obviously you need a Clayconia for this. I'm going to place the blocks in world with a world block exporter, and the blocks themselves are going to come from the drawer. There's the obvious parts. Now the slightly less obvious part is how to shut this off when the drawer is above a certain fullness. By putting a redstone upgrade in the drawer, you can read the fullness of the drawer. I believe the alternative is that you can just read the comparator fullness of the drawer. No, apparently you can't. The drawer does not emit a comparator fullness. That's unfortunate. Well, whatever. It's all the same. You put the redstone upgrade in the drawer. Oh, if I pull this out, does it then emit a comparator fullness? Nope, I guess it just never does that. All right. Well, you do you, drawer. Put that back. Anyways, as you can see, with the emitting redstone, it does turn off. So clearly I've built that already. For that, we need a couple variables. First variable, this one is reads the fullness of the drawer. So if I want any given variable, like in this case, I want to read this value, I just take a empty variable card, put it here, and it gets programmed to that. So I've done that for a couple of these things. First of all, we have variable ID 50 here, or part ID 50, variable ID 1. Basically, it's reading the redstone of the drawer. Then here I have a constant with the value of 14. So to program constants, just look here, integer 14. And now we have a constant value of 14. I'm erasing these immediately after because I already have all the logic set up. But anyways, then we have a relational thing which tests is the redstone amount we're reading from the drawer less than 14. This, as you can see, inputs are numbers, output is a boolean, so it's true or false. Then I use a logic, let's see, it's up in here. I use this here, a choice. So this is basically an if statement, right? If a boolean, so if true or false, then if true, output 2, if false, output 3. So I'd say if it is true that our drawer fullness is less than 14, by the way, this is a redstone signal straight, so it's 14 out of 15 possible, then output sand. Otherwise, I'll put just random filler block. So I picked endstone because there will never be endstone in the drawer, so it won't output anything. If you tell it to output air, which is, you know, the default nothing block, it'll output everything. So air matches everything. That's why I use a random filler block. You can use, you know, your choice of filler blocks. Anyways, that goes into here, and then it's place block. So right now, while this drawer is above 14 out of 15 full, so above what, like 90 something percent full, this is trying to place endstone, which it obviously doesn't have any of, so it fails. However, if this drawer becomes emptier for whatever reason, because say we use some of its contents, then it continues placing sand. Sand immediately gets turned into clay. A vacuum chest here sucks it up and inserts it into here. This goes until the drawer reaches a sufficient fullness level. So I'm going to go ahead and take this downgrade out. I'm going to let this drawer fill all the way up to 16 stacks, because 16 stacks of clay isn't actually all that much clay. It only compacts once, so we're not compacting all the way. But this way we also don't have to deal with, like by using the compacting drawer here, we don't have to deal with the 2x2 crafting or any of that stuff. But yeah, this setup, it does use a tiny, teeny, tiny, dinky little bit of mana. I don't appear to have my mana wand on me, but this half a mana pool can probably make around 30 million billion pieces of clay. So eventually I'm gonna have to come here and refill the mana pool because it's a bit too far from our mana to transfer the mana automatically. Like, it's not impossible. We could use a mana spreader to transfer the mana, but honestly, half a mana pool, just, it makes a boatload of clay. So I'm not worried about it. The Clayconia is almost free because it's balanced. So anyways, let's lock this drawer up, and now we have clay automated. At some point, I can come back and hook up, well, when we have applied logistics, we can hook up various buses to these drawers, you know, storage buses, etc., to access the contents on the applied energistic system. But for now, if I want clay, I can just come here and grab some. And same goes for sand, and pretty soon gravel, although this has to back up these 4 slots as well, and cobblestone. All right, so with that out of the way, let's set up a block of deep mob learning machines so that we can generate iron and gold automatically as well, right? So for that, we need iron comes from overworld matter, or perhaps more easily, iron comes from loot fabricating zombies. Gold, I don't believe, has a native deep mob learning loot. It doesn't. So we'll have to use some of that iron we get, plus hellish matter to craft gold. Although for this we need to automate glowstone. And can we do that yet? That requires witch matter. We can technically... Oh, you can do faulty trials? I didn't know you could do trials at faulty tier. I have a plan. Well, wait, if we're going to do trials, then I think... Okay, yeah. Witches sometimes spawn in deep mob learning trials if you have the... I think it's like the regen trait, or the regen puddles. So we can make a witch data model and then attune keys to it by doing other mob trials. And then we can get witch simulations running for witch matter, for glowstone, and even redstone. So let me, instead of just talking about it, let's set that up. In fact, let's do the witch stuff first, because that might take a little while. So step 1 is to make a witch model. Like so. Oh, I'm out of models. All right, 1 second. Make the witch data model, which just uses a bottle. So that's very easy to get. Put that into our deep learner, and then have a couple empty trial keys with you. And I went and also took one of my... Hold on, this is... Just want to make sure it says available attunements does include witch. Good. And then we can take one of our trial keys that I tuned with the Enderman. So let's take this, some blocks, start this up, and then get myself some... Leave me alone. Give myself some hovering here. Leave me alone. Am I left alone yet? Ow. Ow. Ow! I don't want to die. I'm too young to die. Give me a regen. Whoopsies. We failed. Alright, let's try that again. Hopefully with us dying this time. Let's try that again. This time as an optimization, I brought a copy-paste gadget with me. Man. Of course, the glitches can still hit me down here, so... Oh, come on. Don't die to a single glitch, Jimmy. There we go. Let's heal up, but now I have a platform to stand under to kill Enderman. Anyways, I'm gonna kill these for a bit, and hopefully a witch will spawn. I've seen at least one spawn while doing this. Probably a couple. So I don't know how rare they are, but they're definitely not common. Still, if I get a single witch... when we kill it, it should attune all the keys in our inventory to witches. Assuming it's a real witch and not one of these fake trials witches, at least. Alright, give me a witch, please. I think I may have been wrong about which affix we're looking for. By looking at the documentation, the Thunderdome affix is what spawns witches. It also spawns charged creepers, so hopefully we don't get got by one of those. But let's... Hopefully, with the right affix this time, we'll get a witch. There it is. There's a witch. So if I kill it, hopefully without it killing me... Poison sucks. If I kill it... There we go. We've attuned our trial keys to witch. That's all I was after. Now I can... Well, I mean, may as well complete this trial. But now that I have these witch keys, we can... Oh, that's a charge creeper. Bye-bye, cruel world. Anyways, look, mission successful. We got our witch key. Now that we can do the witch trials to level up the thing the rest of the way. Of course, witches are probably a bit harder to choose than Enderman. But then again, we have regen on our sword. So if I just keep hitting them, we should be fine, right? Let's give it a shot. Get rid of that. Put our rings back on. All right, which of these? No affixes on faulty keys. All right, so this should be able to both get us some witch matter and level up our data model. As you can, oh, that's it. 2 whole witches. Well, good thing I have enough keys to get our data model above faulty tier. Not very efficient, but it gets the job done. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die to witches. I died to a witch. I'm really bad at combat in this game. But we should still have enough keys to get our data model to basic tier. But we should count how many times I died this episode. It's gonna be a lot. But rings back on. Anyways, I'm just gonna go do the rest of these, and they should hopefully go off without a hitch. With the model done, the next step is to set up a couple simulation chambers. I have 6 here. I don't know how many we'll end up using, but right now only 2 of them have data models in them. I don't really need to run the Blaze or Enderman data models anymore, just because I don't, need more Blaze rods. I don't need more Ender pearls right now. But for now, I do need iron and gold. So that's zombie and witch, and I was just waiting for witch matter to add to our drawers here. So as we get more stuff, I can expand these drawers here. Anyways, I have 1 drawer up here that's for holding polymer clay. For now, I'm still just batch crafting that. You see there's a little bit over, 12-ish stacks in there. And just the output of these 12 stacks of polymer clay will be enough to last us a tremendously long time, because the conversion of polymer clay into useful items is extremely good, right? Each polymer clay has a 42% chance to give us 16 iron ingots, for instance. So each one becomes, 16 times 0.42 is somewhere around 6, a bit over 6. Each polymer clay is worth 6 iron, and then some. So we'll eventually fully automate this process, but that'll probably wait until we actually have tried and true applied energistics. Now the next thing I want to do though is also turn these pristine matters into their, into actual matter. So we'll need a couple loot fabricators for that. In the case of witch, come on, I'm out of obsidian. In the case of witch, we need 2 loot fabricators, because I want both of its potential drops. I want both the redstone and the glowstone from it. So let me build the loot fabricators, and then I'll show you how I want to set it up. There's actually one more data model I want to make, and that is the shulker model. The shulker one gets us access to diamonds. Well, these are, we can obviously mine for these. It's much easier to... I guess we need this for something down the line. But it's much easier to get diamonds via the simulator or the loot fabricator than anything else. Shulker shells can also not do anything terribly useful. All right, but I made the data model. Now we have to do the usual step of killing a few shulkers to attune it. Once it gets a basic tier again, I'll just finish the rest of the leveling through the simulation chamber. But I still have to. Oh, I killed all the shulkers here. I have to kill 6 shulkers, which shouldn't be that difficult considering we're in the end. And done. Alright, so this will slowly produce diamonds. The odds of it getting pristine matter are pretty low, because right now it's only 5%, but I'm going to wait for it to run 1 cycle. How much energy does it use? 512? I'm going to wait for it to run 1 cycle and then just throw that in there. So eventually we'll come back, grab pristine matter, set our filters, so on and so forth. Right, so on the other side here, we have our loot fabricators. I'm set up making their things. A couple key things here are to make sure you have round robin on your extract here, so that it'll have, distribute your pristine matter across here. When it's not continuously extracting, you're not guaranteed to evenly distribute pristine matter between, say, the redstone and the glowstone, and that should be fine. Once our data model gets sufficiently leveled up, it'll produce more pristine matter than we could conceivably use, so we'll end up with plenty of both. Now I just have to put or add a couple more drawers here to hold the output products as well, like the you know, the redstone, glowstone, iron. A lot of that stuff also wants to go in compacting drawers. Storage drawers really is one of the best mods, between the drawer controller, the ability to void access if needed, which reminds me that I should probably put that on the matter drawers, and a couple other features that are you know, like compacting and stuff. But looking at these drawers here, actually I had an idea for one way that we can almost automatically make the polymer clay. So if I craft some of these mechanical crafters, they can use adjacent inventories as a crafting inventory, and a drawer is able to present itself as a crafting inventory. So let me show you what I mean. If let's make 4. I doubt we'll need all 4, but get these as well as some controller slaves. A controller slave, when it's connected to a drawer system, will just will act as another controller, with the exception that you can't like double click into it. So if I put let me get some trims as well. Trims function as just like connecting pieces for your drawers, so they don't actually hold items, but they do allow your drawer networks to stay connected. So grab trims, put them down, something like this. All right, now if I replace, let's go one further. Actually, no, hold on. Let's, do I have my axe on me? I always put my axe away. All right, but if I put the controller slave here, and if we look at it, actually we can't see, it doesn't show me what's in it, in the tooltip. That's a shame. It is connected, right? Yeah. I thought that controller slaves had that tooltip thing working, but I guess not. But anyway, so I put a mechanical crafter here and import a recipe for it, say the gold ingot recipe. Right, all of these materials will be stored in the drawers. I'm gonna add hellish matter for now. We're not running a sim that's producing it, so we're gonna have to add at least, I guess, like a wither skeleton or something to make hellish matter. But anyways, if I do that, this will be able to pull from the inventory there, and it should see glowstone, iron, and hellish matter. Glowstone here, iron there, hellish matter there. So, and it should craft automatically. It might only pull from the sides. Let's try putting it here. And do the thing. Come on. What's wrong with my controllers? Quick sanity check. I put the stone in there and try to craft stone bricks. We can see it'll just use the adjacent inventory as input. So clearly the feature works in extra utilities. Something about my drawer is unhappy. If I add a piece of trim here, will you be happy? The slave doesn't think it's connected to the controller for some reason. And that's why it's not linking. That's probably the fact that it's not seeing, we don't see items on the tooltip, unlike when we do that, is probably the issue. But why don't you see the items? Oh, this wormwood trim here, it's from Content Tweaker. I don't think it's actually trim. I think it just, well, it has a drawer name. I don't know, but I don't think storage drawers actually understands it to be trim. Like if I put the controller here, wait, but that still doesn't display its items. Let's sanity check again then. If I do this, will you be able to craft? Yes. So I guess, oh, no, there we go. Now we see our item. But yeah, I think wormwood trim is not real trim, and I've been baited. But anyways, let me get some real wood trim. Wisdom? Can we make trim out of wisdom wood? Alright, I'd switch it up with framed trim, which we can't make any of the standard wooden stuff just because we don't have access to any of these saplings yet. At least I don't think we do. I don't know. I didn't look all too hard. Like, is there a way we can get jungle saplings now? I don't know, maybe. Whatever, I'm not going to overthink it. Anyways, now we are crafting gold. What we can then do is take gold and give it a drawer of its own. I probably don't want to use all of my iron and glowstone crafting gold. I'm gonna put a drawer downgrade in here so that the thing only holds a stack of gold blocks. I should have a downgrade left. In-world search is so incredibly helpful. Before I applied energistics, I would spend hours just literally looking for items if it weren't for that feature. Anyways, put that there. Apply the downgrade, apply the gold. And then we can just insert the items back like this. And the gold that gets scrapped gets stored into here. So now we have gold, iron. What are the other things needed for the clay? Polymer clay. Gold, iron, clay, and lapis. I think I'm going to add another couple of drawers and just manually fill them with clay and lapis for now. And then we can do another, we can do that trick with the, we used a fair bit of mana. That's like, I don't have my wand. Just estimating, I used about half the mana I gave you. I gave you a half pool to make 1,000 blocks of clay. So that, maybe we do have to automatically refill that. But anyways, yeah, we can use that controller. Let me down. We use that controller slave trick again to automatically craft the polymer clay. So there's regular clay, and then lapis. I know I have a lot of this because almost nothing uses it. So sure, we'll leave a stack for myself, or a couple stacks. This goes into there. Expanding on the trim, or the controller slave and trim system. Now I have a thing making polymer clay. You can see it pulls in the inputs as needed. In theory, I can make it extract faster to speed this up, but this process is plenty fast. I changed things slightly. So one limitation about drawers is that all drawers in a network must be within 12 blocks of the controller. So previously the controller was here, but 12 blocks from there is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 here, which means that some of these drawers here are more than 12 blocks away. So instead what I did was I switched that there for controller slave. All of these blocks here are trim, as you can see, and that's connected to this drawer controller here, ow, which is, apparently trim is flammable. I guess it is technically made of wood. It won't burn, it won't burn away, it'll just burn. But anyways, that eventually hooks up to the compacting drawer there, basically all these drawers here, so that all the contents of the drawers are together. So later, when I get applied energistics, I only have to connect to any one of these, connect anywhere on this drawer system to see all of these items. This is what I call trim wiring. You use drawer trim as effectively like a inventory wire. I don't know, I find it kind of cute. But anyways, that saves you the trouble of having to manually move clay from there to here, because now, down, ow. Because now that clay is automatically linked to this network, and it's all together. So now the only manual input is that for every 16 pieces of polymer clay, we have to input 1 piece of lapis. Let's drop in some data model to get the hellish data making. So where do I have my data models? I think I'm gonna do the, let's see, Enderman is extraterrestrial, so it has to be Wither Skeleton or Blaze, I think. Is there anything else that is hellish? I kind of want to do a mob that's useful. I guess Wither Skeleton's kind of useful because this makes coal, and coal can make, well, we're using coal to make steel for now, but later it can do other things too, I think. Maybe. I guess we could burn it in a worst case scenario. So yeah, I'll drop a whole or a Wither Skeleton sim into here. What level are you? You're only advanced for now. That's all right. And then that'll produce the hellish matter. I'll add its pristine here, and I'll add coal to there. To power all of that, I had to put one of the speed upgrades into our generator here. Well, that will cause it to be slightly less efficient. It'll burn energy, or it'll burn nether stars slightly faster than what might be strictly necessary. Oh, I should get more pristine matter in here. That one's this drawer is far enough away that I probably have to just move the polymer clay by hand. Maybe I'll get like an ender. Can we make ender chests actually? But anyways, oh yeah, it's trivially easy to make. But what was I forgot I lost my train of thought now. Oh, but right, with a 1 speed upgrade in there, this thing probably we waste a little bit of output from the nether stars, but we need we use energy at pretty darn close to 5,000 RF a tick, or 8,000 RF a tick. So I'm not too worried about about lost energy. The loss isn't significant enough to bother me. So anyways, if I could, oh come on, give me some string. Probably don't have enough. I should we need to set up a farm at some point well, a more automated farm at some point to get string more easily. Because right now, when I need string, I'm still heading down here. I think our hemp here doesn't grow on its own because there's not another air block above it or something. But I like just grow it to get string. Unfortunately, I can't think of any way to get a spider model started. So we can make the spider data model. That's easy. We can craft the spider eye. However, we have to kill at least one spider, right, to attune keys to it. And I can't think of a way to get spiders because as far as I recall, the Gaia Guardian doesn't even summon spiders. I know that my plan was if the witch system we did earlier today didn't work, I was going to fight the Gaia Guardian because during the intermission phase, he summons mobs, and there are definitely witches in that group. There's, I think, wither skeletons, regular skeletons, zombies, witches, maybe some other stuff, but I don't think there are spiders. Maybe I'm just misremembering though, so I guess that I should at least try that. I mean, fighting the Gaia Guardian is not... It's not an awful thing to do. It's something we should probably do sooner or later anyways, right? There we go. Link to ender chests here. We'll take our polymer clay from over there, send it over to here, feed it into this. So now, I turn this on. Please don't put there. Dang it. Standing a bit too close when I turned that on. But I can just barely click this. And as you can see, we are now producing slightly more power than we're draining, which I thought would be the case. I don't think we're quite using the full, like, 8,600 I think we're capable of making. Am I dead? Please don't be dead. I've died enough today. Aha, not dead. To put the finishing touches on this system here, I'm going to put void upgrades on the drawers holding the basic matters. For these, there's also already a 16x storage upgrade there, so they go up to 512 stacks. If they fill up past there and start voiding, meh, so be it. I'm not going to shed a tear. At this point, then, our deep mob learning system is 99.9% automated. The only thing left is to manually put in lapis from time to time, but each piece of lapis makes 16 pieces of polymer clay. So this 418 lapis in here is upwards of 6,000 polymer clay. The other bits of it are automated. There's 2,000 there. There's some more here. There's more just in this output inventory. So all in all, this thing probably has like 8,000 plus clay available to it before we have to restock it. So that's it for our time today. Next time, I want to come back and automate this last step, the production of lapis. And I think my plan for this is to make the ore through the orchid here. Unfortunately, this ore also requires endstone, which, I mean, I guess we can autocraft endstone. Yeah, actually. But we'll get there next time. There'll be quite a few steps to automate the orchid. So I think I have a pretty interesting mana generation method in mind. I really hope I can pull it off, but that'll be for next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.